Hello, welcome to episode 43 of Full Movie Podcast, a show where we talk about those long-forgotten classics that deserve a rewatch. I'm Matt.
And I'm Freya.
How's it going, Freya?
I'm doing good. Very good, thank you very much.
We don't really need to do this, do we? Because we recorded last night.
That's true, that is true. So let's just crack on with it, eh?
Yeah, so, anyway. No, we are going to say what we watched.
We are, yes. What did we watch?
Well, yesterday morning you weren't with me.
No, I was not.
Yeah, you're away from me, you son of a... So in the morning I watched Creepshow, the animated special on Shudder.
Yes, which I subsequently watched when I got home.
Good word.
Thank you.
Home.
Yeah.
After that I watched Halloween, the original, of course. Then I watched Trick or Treat, because I love that film.
Oh, yes.
I know a few people who don't, but I love it.
We watched that film in the first year that we were together, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Then I watched Dawn of the Dead, the original, not the Zack Snyder version, the George R. Romero one. I was about to say R. Martin, and then I was like, no, Game of Thrones geezer. And then, of course, The Exorcist, because it has to be done because it's Halloween.
Of course.
And then we ended the evening watching The Entity.
Yeah.
How did you feel about The Entity?
As it turns out, I thought I hadn't seen it before, but I definitely have. But I only realised that as I was watching it.
Right, okay.
I enjoyed it. It was a bit long. And it's a bit of a interesting concept,
I really, really like the concept. I think
Yeah.
it should be renamed Entity Extreme Close-Up the movie. Because every camera angle is basically looking up a nostril of an actor.
Yes.
So there's a lot of extreme shots.
Yes. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. For those who don't know, it is a rapey ghost.
Rapey ghost, yeah.
Yeah. Which isn't very nice, but it is, I guess why not if you're dead and loving it.
Go and rape someone. No. It's not a good thing.
No, obviously not. Rape by the living or the dead, of the living or the dead, is unacceptable.
Of course.
But it was an interesting concept.
Yes. I like the film. Again, haven't seen it for a long, long time, but it's a good film. It's a good film. It's one of those almost forgotten horror films.
Absolutely, yeah.
I don't hear many people talk about it.
Well, I think the trouble is there are other films called The Entity
There are.
that are not good.
Yeah.
So they're sort of, paranormal activity type rip-offs.
Yeah.
And such like. So,
I think there is a paranormal entity, actually.
Yeah, there is, yeah. So, what can you remember what year it was made?
What, The Entity?
Yes.
I think it was 80... I think it was made in 1981, but wasn't released till 82, because it came out shortly before or after Poltergeist.
Okay.
So...
but yeah, if you can find it, definitely give it a watch. It's good.
1982, The Entity.
Yeah.
Stan Winston does special effects and he does a good job.
Really good. Yeah.
Very, very good. And then also, sorry, on a bitter note, I also watched The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
The reason why it's a bitter note is because I didn't watch it with Freya.
I can't believe
I'm not going to talk about it. We'll watch it
Of
again.
all
Just stop.
shows that
Just
you
stop.
could cheat on me.
Stop. Just stop. So... And that's how I get out of an argument. And then tonight, we are going to be watching His House.
Yes, on Netflix.
On Netflix, which is... do you know the idea of the film?
Well, you explained it to me.
So, can you remember?
A refugee family come to the UK.
Yeah.
And they have to stay in a designated residence, which they're not allowed to leave. Mm-hmm. And there is a demonic presence in the house. So did I do good?
That's just about it. I mean, you forgot about the reindeer and the Christmas spirit.
Well, you
I'm
didn't
just
tell
kidding.
me.
I'm just kidding. Not a Christmas film.
So that was my summary of that. So
Good.
I'm looking forward to that. It sounds like an interesting concept.
Yeah, I've heard many good things about it. And then I have some recommendations.
Oh.
So I strongly recommend people watch Creepshow, the animated special on
Agree.
Shudder.
Yep.
Also on Shudder is The Last Shift.
Ah, fantastic.
Now, this is a film which nobody talks about, really.
True. Which is a shame, because it's very, very good.
It is very good. It's a bit hokey in parts, but also at the same time, it's a great idea, and it's very well pulled off.
It's well performed as well. It's kind of pretty much just one actress for the majority of the film, and she does a great job.
Really good job.
But yeah,
and
definitely check that out.
Legitimately quite scary as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it a few times now, but on first viewing, it was one of those really good things because didn't really know anything about it. No one had really talked about it. And it was such a pleasant surprise how kind of freaky and how good it was.
Yes, definitely. So I strongly recommend that.
Me too.
Also, I recommend on Amazon is Parasite, the Oscar-winning film. I loved that film.
Yeah, brilliant.
Really, it's not horror.
No.
Oh my god, it's a brilliant film.
We don't need to wax lyrical about how great Parasite is. You know how good it is. It won all the Oscars.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it already, jump on that bandwagon.
Yeah, it's a great film. And then also I'm going to recommend something which I haven't seen but I've heard so many good things about, and that's a TV series coming to Sky next Saturday called The Vow. This is about, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce this, so I'm just going to spell it out, the NXIVM sex cult.
Oh, okay, yeah, Nexium is how it's pronounced.
Nexium,
yeah.
okay.
I only know this through listening to other podcasts who've covered it.
Nexium.
Nexium,
okay, I'll remember that. But yeah, so I've heard so much about that I am really looking forward to watching
yeah, definitely, me too. I actually, because I was listening to, there's a podcast I like called Sinisterhood, who have covered it. They do sort of true crimey stuff. If you're into that sort of thing, I recommend Sinisterhood. They're great. And they talk about The Vow. And it wasn't available yet in this country to watch, so I'm really, really pleased that it's now coming to us, because it's really fascinating.
I think we might binge that next, because it's all episodes are available next Saturday.
Fantastic.
Yes, I can't wait. We still have to watch Lovecraft Country as well.
Oh, yeah.
Keep meaning to watch that. Anyway, and then also, on a sad note, I just want to mention about Sir Sean Connery, who sadly passed away yesterday on Halloween at the age of 90.
Yeah, he'd only recently celebrated his 90th
in
birthday.
August.
Yeah.
So it's very, very sad.
Hey man, it is sad. It's a good innings though.
Oh god. He'd been ill for some time. His last film that he really made was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in, I think that was 2003, 4, 5, something like that. Like early 2000s. Not a great film, but
not a film he liked.
No, I will say I'm going to name, because I can't say Sean Connery without saying about my favourite films.
Of course.
My favourite films of Sean Connery are in this order. Number 1, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He is brilliant.
He's so good
as Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
He is so good, and he does such a brilliant comedic turn.
Really, really does.
So it is very good. Then we have him in The Untouchables, which is, because of this, I am thinking maybe we should review The Untouchables at some point soon.
Definitely agree.
And then we have Highlander.
Which I haven't seen.
You have seen it.
Have
you
I?
must have seen it.
I must have done. Well, we can watch it again.
You must have seen it. And then finally, as John Mason in The Rock.
Yes.
Now, notice how I didn't name him in a Bond film, but...
No, but there are so many better performances.
Yeah.
And Bond is a bit of a kind of cookie cutter role. But he's probably my favourite Bond.
Is he?
Saying
Okay.
that, yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, Sean Connery, I mean, a life well lived, man.
Yeah.
In terms of his artistic contribution. He's a true original. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone, has an impression of him. And the world is, we'll miss him, but
yeah.
I'm, it's nice to remember him.
Yeah, definitely.
For all the brilliant roles he performed in.
Yeah. So, shall we crack on?
Yes, let's. Now, obviously, it is All Saints' Day.
November 1st, yes.
But because we had our Halloween special, we have saved this for today.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us what film we're talking about?
I have to apologise.
Why?
Because obviously our whole shtick is that we watch films that people haven't seen in ages. I guarantee you a lot of people watched this film yesterday.
Yeah, a long forgotten classic probably doesn't apply to this.
No.
However, it is a classic and it does always deserve a rewatch.
I just wanted to talk about it, really.
Yeah, me too.
Well, so in that case, we are doing 1978's classic slasher, kind of, Halloween.
15 years after murdering his sister in cold blood, the mysterious Michael Myers returns to Haddonfield after breaking out of a psychiatric hospital. His sights now set on Laurie Strode and her friends.
This was directed by John Carpenter, who we've already talked about in episode 4 when we reviewed Big Trouble in Little China.
Of course.
But let me just refresh the memory of our listeners. He did Assault on Precinct 13, The Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, personal favourite, Christine, Starman, beautiful film, absolutely beautiful film, Starman is. Big Trouble in Little China, of course, it's a great film. Prince of Darkness, an underrated horror, I feel. They Live, it's all about consumerism and stuff.
Yep.
Ghosts of Mars, I've seen it, it's crap, don't watch it. And The Ward, which is okay. It was written by John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Deborah Hill also wrote the Halloween 2007 Rob Zombie version.
Interesting.
So there you go. How do you feel?
Of course I love this film. You know, it is...
Well, you have the ringtone as the theme song as your ringtone.
The theme music is my ringtone.
Yeah. Which made it very confusing watching it.
It did. It was like, oh, who's called? Oh, no, it's the film. Okay. It is perfect. I don't know why, really. I can't put my finger on why it is so good, but I think because it doesn't kind of overcomplicate itself. It doesn't explain too much. It's just brilliant and wonderful. You know, I don't necessarily find it scary.
No, me neither.
But it is just wonderful.
Yeah, it's a pinnacle film for anybody who likes horror films.
It's iconic, you know. It's, you know, the imagery, the music, the kind of idea.
The music's great. Music is great.
The idea of kind of being stalked in this way is obviously a fear for anyone. I always kind of find it more frightening, the kind of more believable a situation is in a horror film.
Well, I will say that Michael is possibly my favourite masked killer, because there are quite a few. I mean, you have Jason Voorhees, you have Michael Myers, you have... Who else there? I mean, there's loads, and I can't think. I've only got the smiley guy in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but but yes, you have masked killers. The killer from Valentine as well. But yeah, Michael is my favourite serial killer. So... I can't remember who it was. Somebody put up a question on Instagram about which was the best slasher film.
Yeah.
And it was between Halloween, Friday the 13th, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and something else. Can't remember. And I initially said Friday the 13th. Only reason why I believe that is because Friday the 13th, every film has been fun. Even the crap ones have been fun, at least. Whereas Halloween... dipped quite badly. I mean, the second one a lot of people don't like. I actually quite like it. I like it quite a lot. It's a bit like Jaws 2, where not many people like Jaws 2, but I actually really like it. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, has nothing to do with Halloween, but it's still a fun film.
Yeah.
And then 4, 5 and 6 just are terrible. As far as I'm concerned, they're terrible. In one of them, they have a subplot about a cult which control Michael. It's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as kind of series of films go, it's not the best. Which is disappointing because Halloween
of course
is so good. And let's talk a minute about Michael.
Okay.
Because ignoring any kind of sequels, he is such a mystery. And I think that's why he's so great. Mystery.
Okay, go on.
Well, because,
expand on that one.
You know, obviously we have the character of Dr. Loomis, who kind of, talks a bit about him, but I think Michael is even a mystery to him as well. There's no rhyme